Some call it America's last great adventure that doesn't require a passport, a parachute, or a plane ticket. It does not involve conquering a peak, but instead circumnavigating a nation by boat. A journey not across one body of water, but over thousands of miles of rivers, lakes, canals, and coastline. And at the heart of it is a single route known only to a dedicated few, the Great Loop. The Great Loop is a continuous, navigable path encircling the eastern half of the United States, running through at least 15 states and parts of Ontario, Canada. It connects 5 major water systems: the Atlantic Intercoastal Waterway, the Hudson River, the Great Lakes, the inland rivers of the Mississippi Basin, and the Gulf of America. Depending on choices and detours, it ranges from 5,250 to 7,500 miles. That's 8,450 to 12,070 kilometers. Boaters use a combination of man-made canals and natural waterways, including the Trent-Severn Waterway in Ontario, the Erie Canal in New York, and the Tennessee Tombigbee Waterway, constructed by the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers between 1971 and 1985. The system includes over 100 locks, some nearly 40 feet or 12.2 meters deep, each a feat of the 20th century hydraulic engineering. These concrete chambers use gravity-fed water systems and steel gates to raise and lower boats across terrain changes, quite often where rivers transition from upland flow to coastal plain. The lockmaster's call becomes part of the daily ritual. Loopers monitor Channel 13 on their VHF radios, listening for instructions, barge priority, and commercial traffic cues. Many locks were originally built to serve coal and steel traffic, never anticipating they become waterways for trawlers named Serenity, Second Wind, or Naughty Buoy. The first documented circumnavigation came in 1905 when William Willie Waller completed the route in a 28-foot, 8.5-meter motor launch named Barefoot. But the route was not formalized until the mid-20th century, when the United States government, keen to improve inland water transportation, invested billions in what would become the marine transportation system. By 1999, a retired Navy pilot named Ron Staub published a definitive "Honey, Let's Get a Boat" and launched America's Great Loop Cruisers Association. Members began flying a burgee, a triangle flag, white when they start, gold upon completion. The practice borrows from yacht club racing traditions dating back to the Royal Navy's early signaling codes in the late 1800s. Who are these modern-day circumnavigators? A 2023 demographic survey by the AGLCA found that 82% are over age 60, and 68% of them travel as couples. About 15% are solo, often widowed or divorced. Roughly 1 in 10 looper travels with a dog, a cat, or sometimes both. About 20% complete the route in segments over multiple years, docking their boats in towns like Demopolis, down in Alabama, Mackinac Island in Michigan, or Kingston, Ontario, sometimes for the winter layover. The average loop vessel is 36 to 44 feet long. That's 11 to 13.4 meters. Often diesel-powered and equipped with solar panels, water markers, and at least 2 redundancy systems for navigation. And here's what surprises most people. The towns that see these loopers aren't tourist hubs. They're old port towns. Havre de Grace, Maryland, Ottawa, Illinois, Fulton, Mississippi. These were once lifelines of barge commerce and lumber traffic. Some of these loopers want to stop in Buffalo, New York. Unfortunately, there's no dock for them to do so. But right now, they've kept on the map by dock fees, marina fuel sales, and visiting loopers who stop for fresh produce in many of these towns. There's often Wi-Fi and a hot meal to get by. Some towns even have adjusted city budgets to maintain their harbors, citing direct spending from transient boaters as an essential rural income. Those who finish the Great Loop, they just typically don't celebrate. They reflect. What they remember isn't just the water or the distance. It's the pace. A way of living that doesn't rely on algorithms or traffic patterns, but it relies on wind and current and tide. They speak of mornings that begin at dawn and end with diesel checks. They mention nights tied to public walls, chatting with strangers over coffee-stained maps. They learn the meaning of patience, not as a virtue, but as survival. And sometimes all you can do is wait for the lock to open. Maybe that's why the Great Loop resists commodification. It's not built for cameras. There's no audience, no race clock. Just a nice, slow rhythm that ties together places this country used to prize. Towns built for movement, now rediscovered by those willing to move slowly enough to see them. These are Interesting Things with JC.